Hello and welcome to another episode of the Counterplay Archive, and today, for our 10th episode, finally reached double digits, very cool. We're going to go over Vaseraga as the last character changed in the most recent Meg patch. So this character is, to put it lightly, a bit of a gimmick, so if you have no idea what he does, then you're probably going to get steamrolled, as was me towards the beginning of my time playing this game. So it's understandable if you're in the same boat, but yeah, that's what this video is for, to kind of cover his gimmicks and what you can do to approach them, how they work, and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so starting off with normals, he is a big body, so it's his frame data isn't the typical as you would see on maybe like a Shoto like Gran. So let me just go over these real quick. So first of all, his close L is 7 frames, which is I guess no, it's not standard for a big body, but yeah, it's slow. 2 frames slower than the typical Shoto like Gran. As you can see, this is 5 frames and this is 7. 2L is a mid and is 6 frames. This is his fastest grounded normal that that isn't grab. But yeah, this is a mid. As you can see, Gran isn't crouching to block this. As if I were to do this, Vaseraga is forced to crouch to block this. But so yeah, it's 6 frames, but it's also 0 on block. So there's something to keep in mind. Then he has his far L. His far L is 8 frames, so it's also +2. So again, it kind of contrasts to normal characters. Far L, you see this is 6 frames, so it's only +1. This is 8 frames and it's +2. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Next is M normals. This is definitely one thing that a lot of people don't know. And that's the fact that his close M is actually +3. So yeah, if you ever seen him like kind of like route into this, like this block string right here, this is a frame trap. So you shouldn't be pressing on this. It's something that I certainly didn't know for a while, and then I'm like, oh, it's +3. Okay, good to know. So yeah, this is something that is good to keep in mind if you ever get staggered with one of these. It is his turn. Next is his 2M. His 2M is 9 frames and a low. It also shares a unique property with like most sweeps, and in the fact that it actually forces a hard knockdown on a grounded hit, like a sweep. So yeah, this gives him time to like pop stance or whatnot. But yeah, it's pretty fast for something that can force hard knockdown. So just keep in mind, like at this distance, you gotta, or well, yeah, even further, but since he has that other move. But yeah, you may see something like off of like a walk string, and then something like that. But yeah, I guess it's it's unique in that way, but it's nothing too crazy, I'd say, as a normal. Next, a move that was recently changed in his 4-5M. So the 4-5M, well, it was recently changed again. In the patch prior, or maybe 2 patches prior, he got this. So now he kind of slides forward when he does this move. And it was also safe on block, which was a nightmare to deal with. It still is a nightmare to deal with because, you could still be at, a range where you're not going to be punishing this. But the change that they did make is, as you can see, he is now -7 on block. So if he were to do it like in your face, like right here, then you should be able to punish it. So I set the computer to just do this real quick. And as you can see, if he doesn't cancel anything, I can punish right here. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind because a lot of Vaseraga players will use this move, rightfully so. This move is kind of broken. Next, into his H normals. His H normals aren't too crazy. Besides the fact that they're big, big body, big normals. So yeah. But a special trait that all his H normals have, even his dash H, funny enough, is that they can all be charged. So you see that right there, comes out 17 frames. You can charge it up to 30 frames. And these also have another unique property that I'll cover in a second when I go over his unique. But yeah. Just know that all of these can be charged from his far H, his 2H, his close H, and like I said before, even his 6-6H. So now moving into his uniques, I'm gonna go over 2U first because that's probably like the easier one to go over. This is a pretty standard sleep. It's just bigger than usual and it's slower than usual, but yeah, it does cover a good chunk of space. It's not like half screen, but this is reaching right here. It gotta be pretty big. So yeah, it's something to look out for. So now let's get into his gimmick, which is 5U or Soul Forge or armor, whatever you want to call it. He does this, and yeah, now he has armor. He has a little gauge under his meter bar, which was recently added in sometime in season 2. I don't remember exactly. But it was more recent than not. But yeah, this little icon indicates that he now is armored through certain moves. Those moves specifically being all his H normals when charged, including dash H. So like the ones that I mentioned earlier. These. And then some of his specials. That including his M tackle, his H tackle, and then all of his stomps like this. So yeah. Oh, and then also he has armor on his 5U. So once he has armor, his 5U also has armor. So yeah. If you didn't notice already, however, when he does use up this armor, his gauge starts to go down, and it will continue to go down until there is nothing left, and then he has to reapply armor. But until he uses his armor, like a move that will use armor, you can see like 5U right there, then it doesn't start going down until then. Even if he were to try to reapply armor with 5U, then the gauge will not stop depleting. This is a change that they made in the most recent patch. So you know, to not just be like once you have armor, you just kind of infinitely uphold this. So yeah, every time he uses armor, it goes down. The gauge goes down a little bit more. But once this gauge starts depleting, no matter how many times he refills it, until it completely depletes, it won't like replenish and like stay full. So yeah, just to get an example of armor in action, you see right there, I try to beat that out with a move. He armors it, and it literally says armor on the bottom, or on the right there, before it gets filled up with screen. Right there, armor. So yeah, armor. This is what it does. He's able to absorb 3 hits with his armored moves. Actually, I lied. He's only able to absorb 2 hits, and the 3rd hit will effectively knock him out of his armor if he's hit with all 3 of these. If he's hit with all 3 of these hits within, you know, the time period before his armor, or not his armor, until he connects with the opponent. So a great example of this is an EX Fireball, which has multiple hits. As you can see, well, I still got hit because I did that pretty late. But he is hit out of his armor. And yeah. So multi-hits. Like I said again, he does absorb 2 hits. So as you can see, I did 2 hits right there and it still wasn't able to beat it out. But the 3 hits from EX Fireball was able to beat out the armor completely. So this applies to every single one of his armored moves. Initially, there is one move that kind of is the exception, but I'll go over that when we get into the specialist a little bit more. So yeah, like I said, typically, if you have a multi-hitting or at least 3 hitting EX Fireball, then you can beat out his armor when he is in the middle of doing an armored move with that. But then, you know, there are other characters that have multiple, other multi-hitting moves that do beat this, and then there are some moves that just straight up beat armor in general. So I'd say, you know, figure out what your character has to deal with armor, and, you know, just figure out situations or moves like that you might see it on, and, you know, see what you can do about it with your own character. I won't go over every single character and you know, what they can do against armor in particular, but yeah, that's something to figure out for yourself. Next, quickly, we're gonna go over his JU. His JU is an air stall. So yeah, he's only -1. It's pretty cool. So it's like other characters that have air stall, like basically like not every one of the Dragon Knights, but like 2 of them. 2 out of the 4 of them. Actually, they all have different types of air stalls. But like Siegfried and Percival's, where you can kind of just like delay himself in the air a little bit and then fall down. That's really all this move is used for. So yeah. If you watch my UL counterplay guide, then the counterplay to this is the exact same as her JU, and it's just to kind of wait and anti-air it. So something like this, just like a little delay right there. Like if you were to do it like immediately, thinking he's gonna come down, like immediately and not air stall, then you're gonna mess up. But as you can see, you delayed a little bit, and then you're able to get a combo. Or an anti-air. Who knows what the combo is gonna look like for you. But yeah, that's all this move is. Out of the way, let's move quickly into his specials. We'll go probably to the easiest to understand to probably the least or the most complicated to understand. And what better way to start off with his projectile, because he does have one of those, which is that. So yeah, his projectiles aren't anything too crazy. They're pretty simple. There is his L projectile, which is just a pretty slow startup, as you can see, like at earliest close up. This is like 22 frames. And you know, you may see something like this. This is probably the one used the least, but it's still effective as a fireball. It does what it needs to do. However, this isn't like a fireball that he's going to be using to, you know, to zone you out, because this doesn't go any more than half screen. So this is more something he uses in like pressure and stuff like that. Next is M fireball, which in contrast to the L fireball, this has a startup, like a first like active like hitbox. You see right there in comparison to this. But yeah, this is, it comes out a little bit faster in general. It's like 2 frames faster distance, like you're comparing like same distance right here. And there's a lot less plus. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's anything too crazy to like keep in mind, but he sometimes may use it as like a combo ender, or maybe sometimes even I don't want to be like just saying stuff, but you know, maybe sometimes to like beat out a like this like initial hitbox might catch someone. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I wouldn't say to worry about this move too much. Next is his EX Fireball, and EX Fireball is basically his M Fireball, but it's just plus now. it's just more plus now, and it's a lot faster than both of these. 30, 28, 24. So yeah, it doesn't matter where he is. If you're blocking this, it's not your turn. And once again, this doesn't go full screen. I didn't go over the M version, but yeah, they all go like the same distance. But yeah, it's more of a combo tool, and his little, like, let me keep my turn plus right move. So yeah, nothing too crazy. Next to a move that is kind of crazy, not gonna lie, is his ultimate fireball. This move is fast, and yeah, he's pretty plus off of this. Of course, depending on like where he's at, he's more plus. Maybe like max distance, yeah, plus 34. But as you can see, like the other one, this goes like the exact same distance. It's like half screen, so it's not something you're getting zoned out with. But instead, this is you know, this move catches. It can catch a lot of things, and it's a pretty good conversion tool for him. So it's something to keep on the lookout for. And something that he can also use this move for is to do this and kind of just armor up. Which, as you can see, he's minus, but you know, usually this puts you in a position where you can't really do anything about it. So, yeah. Obviously, there are some characters that can punish this with, like, meter or something like that. Or, you know, you have long normals like Fairy or something like that to be able to punish him. But, yeah, if you get caught blocking this move, it's definitely not your turn, and he might just get a 5U for free. The even crazier thing about this move is the fact that this is a true block string on everything. So I set the computer to spot dodge after, you know, blocking anything. But as you can see, all on the far right, he spot dodges afterwards. 2M, he spot dodges afterwards. And yeah, you get the picture. This is a true block string. So, you know, basically you're forced to hold this if you, like, do end up blocking one of his normals. So if you're in like a chip situation, then yeah, if you block anything, you die. So I'd say that's something to keep in mind, because, you know, if you're trying to spot dodge, you're like, oh, I might just be too late. No, you're not too late. You just can't spot dodge this if you block any of his normals. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Like I said before, Vaseraga players might just try to, you know, reapply armor or something like that right after. But like I said, if you're prepared and have like a special or something like that that covers a lot of distance in a short amount of time, mostly like ultimate specials, you can kind of catch them out of that with something like this. So obviously, you know, depending on your character, you're going to have a different option for this. But yeah, this is, as you can see, like, you know, you can't really, like, you're not covering that much ground in that short amount of time, unless he does it like force spacing, as you can see. But we usually try to do it in a position where, you know, something like that. But, you know, this is probably not happening with everybody, because smarter Vaseraga players understand that it is certainly not going to be their turn after that, and they can be punished if their opponent is aware. But for, you know, the players that are less aware of this, then you can take advantage of that if you have the right resources and the means to do so. So it's just something to keep in mind. Next, we're going to go over his command grab. Yes, he does have a command grab. He has a projectile and a command grab. So yeah, he obviously, you know, the 4 command grabs. One is L1, which is unreactable and sends full screen. As you can see, they do go pretty far. So yeah, this is more of a reaction. It's not the biggest in terms of range, as you can see. It's, you know, it doesn't reach right here, but maybe if you're like right here, yeah. So It still does grab from a decent like range, but it's not like too crazy. You can see maybe like a little bit outside of throw distance. He can also do any version of command grab before I go into the other command grabs off of his stance. That is the wrong character. But off of this, he can cancel into his command grab from stance. So I'll go over that a little bit later, but it's just something I want to bring up right now. Next is his M command grab. His M command grab is basically the same thing, but instead it only catches air opponents. So just to show this off, I jumped right there and I got grabbed, but if I sit down, then yeah. This isn't an option that you'll be seeing a lot to like anti-air. Maybe like if like Vaseraga players are like really aware of like a certain situation or have a really good call out, then they might do this. It looks pretty cool, I can't lie. But yeah, besides that, this is more of a combo ender than anything off of like auto combo and stuff like that, since they did add that ability to do so in a patch. But yeah, there's nothing to worry about too much. Just know that it's there. Next, into H command grab. H command grab is what people would call reactable. It's 2 frames faster than Raging Strike, so 26 instead of 28 frames. So yeah, and he does extend himself pretty far, not like round start distance, but kind of close, something like that. But yeah, it's a pretty fast move, but I wouldn't say it's unreactable as long as you're paying attention for it. Obviously, if you're, you know, not aware of this move, then, you know, you might get caught by this a couple of times. I've been there before, don't worry. But, you know, I guess just recognize, like, get familiar with, you know, the animation and whatnot. But yeah, since it is quote-unquote reactable, you can, there are certain options to do if you do recognize this. One is jump. If you do jump, then he is pretty minus, so for the most part you'll be able to land with a normal, no matter how late you are. I'm jumping pretty late right here, and I'm still able to land with a punish. Another thing you can do is put yourself airborne another way, and that is through backdash. As you can see, backdash right there, and you can kind of get away from it. Obviously not if you're just late, but I'm able to backdash right there and get out of it. As you can see right there, if that made it any easier to visualize. So if you can react to it, then jump or backdash is a decent option. Backdash will obviously set you up for a better punish. So, you know, figure out what you're comfortable with and whatnot. You know, either or works. But yeah, just know your options. Also, if you do have a DP, then you can just like DP on reaction. If you're like, I can't, like, I'm not used to jumping or backdashing, you can just DP this on reaction. Any DP works. Or even just like any move works. LDP was a little bit late. MDP. UDP. Oh yeah, those are options. Alright, now going into his ult command grab. His ult command grab is pretty similar to his H command grab. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure with the ultimate slowdown, it's an extra 10 frames. So technically this is the exact same frame data as H command grab. It's just that it's blue. And he's also, as you can see, invincible. So this is his DP. So yeah, this DP on paper, it kind of sucks, but it feels terrible to get hit by it because you know you can like one, it's a command grab, so you know if you're blocking, you're gonna get hit by it. and 2, it's just extremely slow. So yeah, if you basically you bait it out, quote unquote, but you don't react properly, then you still get hit by it. So yeah, so like this, you can deal with this the exact same ways as you would the H command grab. So obviously backdash gets you around it, and also jumping gets you around it. There's a lot more minus in comparison to the H1, so you might be able to like, come down and do something extra. Obviously you can still punish this the same way as you would the other one, but here is one thing off. Since it's a reversal, he is invulnerable off of you know, on wake up. So yeah, and the thing with this is it's kind of hard to react to. Yeah, this could be hard to deal with because you can't really safe jump this and, you know, safe jump and then you block. You have to like safe jump and kind of react to see if it's old command grab or not, and then respond accordingly. But however, there is an option to select to deal with this in particular. So the situation you'll probably see this in is off of a graph. You know, you'll do this, you'll try to safe jump, and then, you know, you try to block, but you forget his reversal is a command grab. So you blocking doesn't do anything. So you're just gonna get grabbed. So the option select I'm going to show you today is kind of like a jump option select off of this. So essentially how this is supposed to work is that if he doesn't do a reversal, you hit him and then it gives you enough block stun to where that if you land after like making a block, jump won't come out. However, if he does DP, there won't be any block stun from you know, hitting him. Then jump will still come out and you will be able to evade the DP by jumping. So just as an example of him blocking and you trying to like jump afterwards, as you can see, jump doesn't come out. I have a little controller, virtual controller thing to kind of showcase that, you know, if you hold it for too long, it will come out regardless. But you don't want to jump if you make him block. You want to jump if he isn't blocking. So make sure you get this down. You don't want that. You want something like that. So, for example, let's try this out. And as you can see, I able to jump regardless, or not regardless, but if he DPs, I'm able to jump automatically. Or something like that. So I set it to random just to get some reps in and show you this working regardless of if he blocks or not. As you can see, he blocked right there, jumped in and come out. He blocked again, jumped in and come out. And yeah. Try to get him to do it one more time. Yeah, that's, you don't want to jump if he blocks the normal. He just doesn't want to DP right now. But yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, if you've been getting blown up by that on your safe jumps, then practice that OS. It is guaranteed to work as long as they DP immediately. So yeah, it's just something that's good to know for like safe jumps and stuff like that if you've been getting caught with that a couple of times. With that out of the way, let's talk about his other two moves that are actually affected by armor. We'll go over the less complicated one first, and then we'll move into the other afterwards. So let's start off with his shoulder tackle. So just general properties beforehand. Start off with the L version, but in general, except for the H and the U version, these change frame data based off of, or not change frame data, advantage changes depending on where you block this move. As you can see, if he does this from pretty far, then he's plus, but if I were to do this point blank, then he's -8. So rule of thumb is, if you block this from like a specific distance or spaced enough, then he's plus. It's kind of up to you to figure out where like he's plus and where he isn't, but just a general idea, if he's like half screen or like a little more than half screen and you block this, he's probably plus. Obviously I'm not very familiar with the specifics myself, but that's just how I gauged it. If like he's somewhere a little bit more than half screen and you have to block this move, then he's probably plus, and you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't try to take your turn, is what I meant to say. The L version, it's just, you know, straight charge, nothing special about it. This one actually isn't affected by armor, so you can tell by the fact that armor doesn't start like to drain down when he uses this move. For example, if I were to do 5U and it starts to deplete the gauge, if I were to do tackle, this doesn't take any more gauge, so light tackle is not affected by armor. Next, into M tackle. M tackle is pretty similar to L tackle, besides the fact that 1, it's actually affected by armor, and 2, you can charge this. So this is similar in the fact that frame data changes depending on spacing. You can see it's the same as minus as it was on the L version, on the M version from this distance, and a similar like space, whatnot. But if it's charged, then he can make himself even more advantageous, and then less minus if he's in your face. But like I said, this is affected by armor. So as you see, if I were to do this, the meter starts to drain down. Do it again, it starts to drain down a little bit more. And yeah. Next is the H version, which was actually recently changed in the latest patch. And that was, the change was that originally he would do 2 hits of this move, which is this, where he would do like a double shoulder tackle. But now, if he whips the first shoulder tackle, he just stops. So yeah, this was the change. Like I said before, the other ones have variable frame data. The L and the M version have variable frame data. However, this one doesn't. You see it's -5 from right there. I do a point blank. It's still -5. So yeah, keep that in mind. One thing that's good to note is that in the corner, no matter where he does this from, if you block this in the corner, you can get yourself a throw punish if you can time it properly, unlike me. Yeah, if you ever block this in the corner, then yeah, you can get a throw after this, and yeah, put him in the corner. H tackle is also affected by armor, as I mentioned before. So yeah, you can also charge this, like the M version, to for other things that I'll kind of explain in a bit. But yeah, next is ultimate tackle. Ultimate tackle has been nerfed multiple times, thank God. But yeah, now this is fully punishable on block. He's like right in front of your face before you he was spaced, so it was like extremely hard to. But yeah, that's besides the point right now. Just, I guess one thing to know is that, yeah, he's -6 if you happen to block this move, and typically he will be right in front of your face if you do. So yeah, you should be able to get a punish with a 6-framer. But yeah, in comparison to his other tackles, one, he has super armor. Not just normal armor, he has super armor, and this is true regardless of he has Soul Forge or not. As you can see right there, I do that and it says super armor. What this means is it literally means what it means. It's super armor. This armor cannot be broken under like normal circumstances. Like the previously mentioned 3-hit rule does not apply here. So as long as this is active and you try to throw something in it, it will win for the most part. Like I said, there are some exceptions that I'm not 100% sure of, right now, but for one, I know that some certain supers might be this, and certain parries that are unblockable will be this. But yeah, to see if your character has one of those, you're gonna have to figure out for yourself, because I'm not aware of all of them. But yeah, it's just something that's good to know. So just kind of just show this. You see the 3 hits that I was talking about before just don't matter in the face of super armor. Obviously that just didn't come out normally. But yeah, if you throw out a normal, it's nothing. So your typical stuff will not work against this. DPs though, depending on how much invulnerability your DP has, might work. But of course, this is very like specific situations when like from here, you're probably not DPing because this is probably ult fireball instead. But just to give an example of, you know, how this may interact with other things. Alright, now dealing with this move, one thing you can do is spot dodge. As you can see, you spot dodge, then you can kind of keep your turn if you get the right timing. But as you can see, like this distance, you block it, or let's see, like a little bit further, right here. Like right there, he's plus. But if I were to spot dodge this, then it's my turn. However, kind of reacting to L tackle is going to be kind of difficult. You'll usually be reacting to like M tackle, which takes a little bit longer to start up and also can be held. So yeah, something like that. So let's see, M tackle, you know, you kind of do this and spot dodge. This is kind of hard to tell in terms of like spot dodge timing, because he can like go over the charge at like different timings, but you get the right spot dodge timing, then yeah. But be careful of spot dodging this like immediately, because like I said, he can spot dodge this early, and if you're get a bad timing for spot dodge, then you'll get caught out. But yeah, usually spot dodge is a pretty decent option right here if you just want to not have to deal with the plus frames on block. Sometimes it's safer to do that so you don't get hit and die, but spot dodge is a valid option against this. However, if you also have a DP, then you can just DP through this, and then you'll usually win. Of course, it depends on your DP and is he has armor or not, so just keep that in mind. So just record something like this. Like that, you go DP through armor, you have multi-hitting DP. So yeah, I did mention the change that they did make to this move in particular. So you can spot dodge this one, then you will be able to get a punish. Because he just stops right in front of you, thanks to the most recent change. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. You spot dodge this one, you will stop in front of your face, and at worst, you should be able to get yourself into a punish. But then again, remember that this can be charged, and it can be charged a long time. So if you just like spot dodging or whatnot, then you know you might be wrong like that, and then he'll do full hits. But yeah, it's kind of just, yeah, you have to get lucky on the timing, because you can let it go in between any of these kind of times. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. If you happen to spot dodge the U version and in expectance of the fireball, you're in luck, because he dies if he whips this move. So you can see, like, plus 19. I did it late, it was still plus 16. So yeah, if you happen to spot dodge this move, then by all means, it's a good idea. If you don't, however, and you just block this, it's still your turn, and you should be able to get a punish. And now, last but not least, we're gonna go into his stance, which is this. So yeah, obviously he has 4 versions, my bad. Normal L version, which let me just say this at first. Besides the U version, they all have the exact same follow-ups, but the L and the M version share the same properties, while the H1 not shares, has a bit better better frame data like on block. So his advantage will either be less punishable, or it will be more advantageous than it was in the L and the M version for the most part. So just to go over the L and the M version first, because they're basically the exact same thing. The only difference in between these is that one, the L version right here, he kind of starts stationary. Over the M version, he takes a step back. That is literally the only difference in between the L and the M version, so I'm going to talk about these like they're the exact same move, because they basically are. Alright, to start off with stance, the first thing we got to talk about is his walk. Before we talk into any moves, is the walk. So yeah, all he has to do is input forward once, and then he will take 4 steps forward before he stops, and you have to input it again for him to keep walking. You can also cancel out of this with hitting the guard button, but that can only be done off of like immediately. So you might see players stance cancel like this, but once he walks, he has to keep walking. However, he can cancel out a walk with one of his moves. To start off, we're going to be talking about the high swipe, which is that. It can also be held, although it is the exact same frame data in terms of like advantage on if it was held or if it wasn't. Also guard crushes. So yeah, this move is air unblockable. So just as an example, holding block button in the air, I can't block this. So yeah, it also whiffs on crouchers, as you'd imagine, since it goes high. But yeah, as you can see right there. I did mention before, but all of these moves are affected by armor. So, for example, if I just do it where he misses the first one, as you can see, I tried to hit him right here. He's armored through the move, and yeah, he's able to hit me out of this. I'm trying to, even when I hit him. So it's just something to keep in mind that if he does have armor during this, and they like throwing out this move, and you try to like counter program. Even though you go low, I guess it depends on your move, because if you're Gran, you have his sweep, then you're chilling. Well, you see if I try to cancel anything off of that, it still gets caught standing up. So yeah, you cannot swing into this move or you'll get caught. But if you do crouch, and you can make it whiff, and you can actually punish this if you're aware enough. However, this move is pretty fast on whiff. Obviously, that wasn't that. But like, he recovers pretty fast. So if you're not ready for this, then this is like, it's one of those moves that they're like, yeah, it's plus on whiff, because it recovers so fast, and if you're late on the reaction, you'll probably still get hit out. So it's something that you really have to be ready for. So it's just something to keep in mind when you are on defense against this guy. Next is his low swipe, which is M on this thing. Again, frame data like advantage doesn't change on whether or not this is charged or not, but he can charge this. This is just something that I should clarify. He can charge all of his moves in this stance, and there's like only one of them that changed the frame data on block, and it's not this one. So yeah, as you can see, or as you've been seeing, Gran is forced to block low right here, so it is a low, and it's pretty big. Obviously, it doesn't go full screen, thank God, but it's pretty big. So yeah, It is -6, however, you're probably not going to punish this, even on block. You can see, that's kind of like, not max distance, like, but yeah, that's kind of like max distance, depending on your far L, I guess. But yeah, this is 6 frame, -6. So yeah, it really depends. This is really hard to punish, especially if they space it properly, but if it's poorly spaced, then you can punish it right there, like something like that. So something to keep in mind. When dealing with the swipe, the low swipe, you can actually spot dodge this if you get the right timing. It's really hard to kind of get the timing properly, but if you can't spot dodge this, you are left in advantage, and usually if you're close enough, you have enough time to punish. So, something to keep in mind. And next, moving into his H follow-up, or kind of the overhead looking thing. So, this is a move that, once again, can be charged, but this time, frame data or advantage will change depending on how long it's held. However, there's only two different, like, timing for this, although he can, like, let go of this in the middle of charging, but if he lets it go in the middle of charging, it will act as if it wasn't charged at all. However, if he does it full, then he is +16, and you can die if you block this all the way. As usual, this is affected by armor, but yeah, it's nothing too crazy, honestly. This is probably the least scary of his options, honestly, I'd say. Just due to the fact that, one, if you, I guess, no, I wouldn't say if you block it, because this is not something you should be blocking, at least the fully charged version. If it's just like, if it's just this, and it's like, whatever. But yeah, let me explain why it's not too crazy. One, it doesn't cover a lot of ground, as you can see. So it's not really something you have to worry about from a distance, which the other ones reach like over half the screen, so it's not something you'll typically be worrying about. Two, if he does charge this up all the way, you have a really good indicator of him doing so, and you can just spot dodge. If you spot dodge, then yeah, he can die. If you're walking normally, then, you know, you're +4. However, obviously, it's not like you're in like a position to throw him or anything, but you're still at advantage. So this move, honestly, isn't too bad. But yeah, the only thing to really like take away from this move is the fact that if he does hold the this and you block it, he can like kill you for it. Like that's a true combo right there. Something to keep in mind that he can do that, and if they are like, you know, going for that, then just spot dodge it. Next is his U follow-up, which is this. So you can't really see that from right there, but super armor. Super armor is something that you may remember from the old tackle. Well, yeah, this move has it too, whether he has armor or he doesn't. So this in particular is used to beat out stuff like DPs and whatnot, because a lot of times people will see stance and, you know, they're like, okay, my DP is multi-hit, so let me just let DP rip. And this move is basically the move to make you think to do otherwise, because he can just punish you for trying to DP on his armor. So as you can see, I try to DP, but he super armors through it, and DP loses. So yeah, that's like the main purpose of this move, for the most part. If you do block this, however, you are +6. Obviously, if it's fully charged, he's probably not going to be in the position to be punished. But with something like that, then you get yourself a punish. It even counts as a counter punish, or a punish counter, whatever you want to call it. On block, if it's charged or not charged, it's the exact same frame data. So yeah, I guess being able to understand like what this move's purpose is and when they might try to use it is something to keep in mind, so you can plan on how to deal with the RPS. One thing that I mentioned way before when we covered his command grabs is the fact that he can command grab. Not that, but out of stance he can command grab. One thing to keep in mind though is that in stance he can't command grab you if he already, like, if he made you block a stomp. He can only command grab you in between stomps. So as you can see right there, before he took another step, I'm able to get command grab out. But if I do it right after a step, can't command grab. So it's something to keep in mind, like in timings for command grab, at least for L command grab, because this is the unreactable one. So know the timings when that can come out. However, just because he did L or M stance doesn't mean he can't do H command grab. So yeah, something to keep a lookout for at all times. However, he can't do U command grab. As you can see, I'm trying to do U command grab right here, and it's giving me H command. Alright, not H command grab, it's giving me L command grab. So yeah, he can't do that. Now anyways, moving into his H stance. His H stance automatically makes him start moving forward, unlike his L or M stance. As you can see, I do this. He doesn't move until I move him forward. Same with M stance, even though he starts back, I have to hold forward or press forward for him to start moving. However, H stance, he automatically starts moving forward. And his steps, at least, feel faster. That is because they most likely are. So yeah. Anyway, difference in H stance is that his moves are either more advantageous or not punishable anymore. So as you can see, the high follow-up is one extremely fast, and is also +8 in comparison to +1. And again, this doesn't change depending on if it's held or not. So these all carry the same functions that they did on the M and the L versions. However, they just, you know, change in properties on block and on not like properties on block as in like it'll do something different on block than the other ones. It's just that it's a little bit either more advantageous or less, or not punishable anymore. So yeah, they do the same things, they carry the same functions, but yeah, this is faster and more plus. This one is faster and now unpunishable regardless of spacing. This one is faster but is the exact same as the L version, or the L and the M version. Actually, it's not faster at all. It's the exact same. So, excuse me, it is the exact same as the other version. And this one is also, again, the exact same. So I guess the only difference is in between the L and the M follow-ups. Again, both grabs can still be done in this stance. So yeah, the biggest difference is the speed and the frame data changes, or the advantage changes on block of the L and the M version of the follow-ups. And now is the U version. The U version has no follow-ups, but that's the wrong character. But he once again has super armor, and he's safe off of this. So yeah. Anyways, how do you deal with this move? This move doesn't have too much to it besides the fact that if you try to hit him out of this, you're getting stepped on and you're eating damage. That's about it. So yeah, how to deal with this move? You spot dodge. So typically, if you're like point blank, you have to hit the double spot dodge. If you spot dodge the first one, then the second one is going to force you to block it, and if you're forced to block this, then yeah, then you're not gonna be able to punish it. Yeah, double spot dodge. However, if you do spot dodge too late, you might get caught by the second stomp and not have enough time to spot dodge, as you can see right there. So your spot dodges, if it's going to be double spot dodge, has to be extremely early. And as you can see right there, +7. I guess frame data varies. I guess there's a pretty decent like gap in between like being able to spot dodge this and not. Well, something like that. If you're not sure if you're punished, just know that you will always be able to get a grab. However, you are at a much better position if you happen to spot dodge. You don't have to block the first hit, and you can just spot dodge the second hit, because then you can spot dodge a lot earlier and catch this ending a lot earlier, and you can get a lot bigger punish. So obviously you're probably not going to be in this situation every time to be able to only have to spot dodge this one. But if you are in a situation where this happens, all you have to do is spot dodge the second one. You don't have to worry about getting caught on the other one, and yeah, then you can punish it. As you can see, if he doesn't hit the last stomp, then he doesn't do the follow-up, and he only stomps twice. So it's just something to keep in mind. Alright, now with like basically everything out of the way, let's talk about stance RPS. So usually we're going to be talking about like stance with armor. If he doesn't have armor and he is stanced up, you can just hit him out of it. If you see stance and there is no armor, please press a button and kill him for it, because it's fake. He can't enforce anything really unless he does it like immediately, like something like that. But like if he's just walking at you, then please hit him out of it, because he cannot armor through anything unless he takes the risk on doing this. So I'm gonna cover like general idea of what you should be doing against stance, and then more specific options for some of the other ones. I did cover like a little bit of the like maybe some specific options for like one or two of them, but we'll go over a little bit more of that right here. So let me just summarize what I like to do and what a lot of people should be doing, and that is to just block. You don't have to try to get out of this immediately every time. This is because typically if he has armor, not a lot of characters have moves to kind of like, especially if you're like right in his face, you don't have the luxury of being able to throw out a move that one comes out quick enough and two has enough hits to get rid of armor completely without it being like a multi-hit DP, and not all characters have that. This is also good because he can, I didn't like mention this prior, but I feel like it was kind of self-explanatory, but he can attack at any moment in between the stomps and at any stomp. So more often than not, you know, you might guess wrong, and with him having armor, he's winning the RPS for the most part, because he has that little insurance with armor. If you do try to like hit him out of something, then he might have enough time to react with a follow-up and hit you on recovery. And like I mentioned, most of these on block, it's actually your turn, and most of the time when you're blocking, you're going to be down backing anyways, so that puts this move basically off the table for plus frames. This move is minus on block. This move is minus on block, and if he charges it, there's a big giveaway and you can spot dodge it. This move is minus on block. So the only option that he can do to beat you out of this is a command grab, and that is, I can't even say that's pretty deep in like layers. It kind of just depends on the player you're up against, but for the most part, they're going to try to kind of just attack you out of this and try to get you flinching. because yeah, the reward is much bigger for him being able to get this than him getting command grab. So yeah, let's just go over options to deal with each in every move. So you know, maybe you do want to just like get out of here. So what do you do? What are your options? What are your best options to do to get out of every situation? So one, the high, like I mentioned before, just block low. If he charges this, then yeah, he just whiffs. Obviously it's a lot scarier if it was like this one, but yeah, because his recovery is a lot less. It's like 7 frames faster. Well, it's kind of hard to punish, and like I mentioned before, if you try to kind of like hit him in between him charging this, he'll still get caught, and then he gets a combo from it. So yeah, wait and try to punish afterwards. You see, even I'm like trying to punish it, and it has to be like immediately after. So yeah, this kind of sit and block and wait to punish this move. For the low swipe, you can either spot dodge it, or you can jump. Jump is a pretty decent option in this situation if you're like ready for it. Obviously it might not be off of like something like him holding it as long as that, but if you can like jump and like preemptive as a like, oh, we're assuming that was gonna happen, then that works too. But obviously the charge, you have a lot more time to try to punish this. This kind of like catches people, like if you're trying to play reactionary, and you know, you might try to jump late. You might try to jump and you get caught late, and then he catches you standing up. But yeah, jumping is a decent option right here. Or you can also spot dodge this if he decides to hold it, and you know, you can react to it. The H one, really isn't anything else. I did mention it before. If you see it, just spot dodge. But yeah, the U version. This is something that you can also spot dodge if he's trying to hold this. And yeah, you get yourself big punish. Obviously him holding it, it can kind of mix up your spot dodge timing. Like if you're trying to do it immediately, you'll get caught on the recovery. So, you know, this is also just a guess, but if you are able to correctly spot dodge it, you can punish him. And then again, command grab, the responses are the exact same as if you were to, you know, as if it weren't off a stance. So, yeah. I guess I did kind of only go over, like, what to do against this one. But, typically, let's just have this recorded. I see this. Of course, backdash works and jump works. It's pretty much the same thing as the other one, but also something to note that his armor is gone during this. So if you're really crazy, you can try to press a button in anticipation of him trying to throw out command grab, and you'll counter hit. But of course, the safer options is just jump, which, as I showed you before, will also catch like a prolonged charge on the low swipe, or backdash. Kind of preemptive, but yeah, it's the same thing, but it's not a reaction and it's more of a guess. So yeah. But yeah, honestly, that's about it. I guess we can go over quickly like what you do on blue skills. So for the most part, your best option is to spot dodge. As I mentioned before, this move you can't spot dodge if you block a normal from him, but you can spot dodge this and make him waste meter, which is always good. This move, not this one, this one, on reaction, if it's spot dodge, then you're at a pretty good spot. This move, you can kind of like double spot dodge from here too. But yeah, like this distance is fine because you'll probably catch the second one anyways. So yeah, 3 out of the 4 special moves you're gonna want to spot dodge, and you'll be able to probably get your best punish. Of course, outside of the fireball, which you're not punishing at all, you're just making him waste 50 meter, which is always good. You don't want this guy to have meter because his players love making him turn blue for a valid reason. It's good. So yeah, the command grab you won't be seeing in like from this distance because this just doesn't reach. But since it is a command grab, players get really cheeky with some of the stuff they like to do because it's also invincible too. So if you try to like hit him out of this, then you're gonna lose. So yeah, just remember what I talked about with this move. You know, just jump, backdash. It gets you out the same way as the other command grabs. All right. As I was editing, I realized a couple things that I did actually forget. So we're about to do a quick speed run of that stuff, just to make sure I don't leave it out, because it was a decent amount. But anyways, let's get over this in like 2 minutes. So first of all, dash normals. He has two that are, I guess, you know, the two that are different. That's not 6 exam. 6 exam is an overhead, and it's pretty fast, to say the very least. 22 frames, so decently fast, but he's like minus 14, so if you log this, then yeah, you can kill him for it. Next, 6 is H. This one, he's minus 4 normally, but if he charges it, he guard crushes it, and he's plus 2. This has armor. Like I mentioned, all his H normals have armor if it's charged, so yeah, something to keep in mind. A general tip, big general tip. If he has armor, and he's doing like stomps or something like that, do not, for the love of God, do not brave counter. Because this is what happens when you brave counter and he has armor. He just goes through it. So, with that being said, if he has armor, do not BC him. And he's doing an armor move, do not BC him. That goes for all the moves that have super armor. Don't do that. It's bad. You should not. And last thing, there is a gap in between all of his stomps. So like he'll do one stomp and then you know, in between the next stomp there's a gap, and in between this gap you can actually throw him. So if they're just stomping and, you know, trying to kind of play the waiting game and see what you're gonna do, then you can just throw him in between this gap. And then I guess a little thing as well, that you can spot dodge these. Like if it's space or something like that, you can spot dodge like the first hit and you can grab on the second. This is especially useful when you might be on chip out, and each one of these stomps do chip, so you know, you may spot dodge the first stomp and then you grab him after he tries to go for the next one. But yeah, that was about it. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I did, and you know, someone playing the character is like, yeah, you didn't talk about that, and one, it's probably too advanced for like the mid level, like lower level player, which is the target audience, or like, yeah, I just genuinely forgot. So I apologize. This video was longer than I anticipated it to be, but there's a lot of stuff with this character to cover because, you know, he's not your standard character. This is definitely one of those knowledge check characters that you don't know what's going on, and you're definitely gonna get steamrolled, especially with how like strong he is in this current version, even though he's been toned down a little bit. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. We did cover all of the characters that were changed in the Meg patch, so we're moving on to the next patch, unless we get a patch over the coming weekend. But yeah, we'll see what next week has in store. So yeah, that's gonna be about it. Hopefully this helped anybody that, you know, may have been struggling with this matchup, be like, I have no idea what this character does, because I was definitely there at some point, because this character just be doing stuff and you're like, wow, okay, cool. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you want, you know, notifications on more of these, because a lot more of them will be coming up in the future. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you and respond to the best of my ability. But yeah, that's going to be it. I appreciate you guys for sticking around and seeing it through the end, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.